September 28th, 2015, Bloomington, Indiana. A sophomore at the university went missing and was found that same day, floating in the water with a backpack full of rocks strapped to his chest. The coroner ruled it suicide by drowning. But with so many clues, his family knows somebody is responsible. This is a story of Joseph Smedley. Hello, this is Kelly from Kelly's Coffee and Crime Chat. Welcome, and this episode will be up early again for early access for Patreon and Spotify premium subscribers, and then it will hit the podcast on Saturday, the 23rd. So welcome everybody, and I am on episode 78. Amazing. Just amazing when I think about that. I am drinking Java Mama Jingle Bell Java. Jingle Bell Java is one of my all-time favorites. It is on the site. I'm not sure for how much longer. We have a lot of them going to retire at the end of the month. So if you still want to get in on the Java Mama air roasted, green and clean holiday coffees, they're still available. Jingle Bell Java is like a vanilla caramel with a rum flavor, and it seems like there's another flavor in there. Maybe it's cinnamon, I can't remember, but it's so good. It is just wonderful. I will have the link in the show notes, and like I said, this episode 78 will be up for early access for a couple days. I have not heard of this case till just recently when I was looking up cases in the area. This one popped up from Indiana, and oh my gosh, it needs attention. I'm like, I have got to talk about this. This is ridiculous, some of the things that I found out. But my sources are uncovered.com, and there's a series on ID called Still a Mystery. This one is titled Indiana Unsolved, and it's on not the current season, but the season before that. I like that I can stream these on Max, so I was able to get on there and watch it. Still a Mystery, that is the series, which actually is pretty good. This is the story of Joseph Smedley. I hope I'm not leaving anything out, because I thought I was going to say something else before I started, but I'm not sure if I was going to or not now. I got so into this Jingle Bell Java. Okay. Joseph was born March 21st of 1995. He was a 20-year-old biochemistry major at Indiana University, and that's in Bloomington, Indiana. Now, he was a really good student, got A's and B's, and he was looking forward to a career as a pharmacist in his future. He did belong to Sigma Pi fraternity. And before this, in high school, he played trombone, and he was on the wrestling team. So when he joined the Sigma Pi fraternity, when he went to Indiana University, I got a lot of notes here, so I hope I get all this in order. His family was not a fan of him joining, or not a fan of the fraternity, because they seem to have not a very good reputation. And, but he joined it. His older sister Vivian says, he sent positive vibes wherever he went, and he was a great friend to many and extremely intelligent. since he was, I know I've got this written down here in my notes, but since he was at this fraternity, he was supposed to get Vivian, his sister, co-signed for him on this apartment. Well, for him to break the lease, he had to pay $680. I'm pretty sure I saw that's what they said on Still a Mystery. That I think it was a $680 to break his lease, and so Vivian had co-signed for him. So he was going to drop off the check to her to break the lease on September 28th. Because, see, now that he's in the frat house, I didn't know how that works because, of course, I've never been to college. I don't know how that works when you actually move into a frat house or anything like that. But he was supposed to drop the check off to her, and that was he said by noon on September 28th. Well, earlier that morning at 4:15 a.m., she got a text from Joseph's phone. It said he loved her, he was leaving the country, and not to contact him, but he will contact her once he's settled overseas. I'll have a photo. I got a photo of this, which will be on my Instagram photo dump and Facebook page. And I'll post it on the Patreon page too. The text also said he was keeping her safe by not telling her what was going on. So she contacted the police because she kept trying to contact him. Because the text message also said that if you try to contact me, the number won't work. So she's trying to contact him. So she couldn't get a hold of him, contacted police. They talked to Joseph's roommates. He lived with two frat brothers, and they said they last saw him on September 27th, the night before. They all went to Griffey Lake, and they were going to see the blood moon, which was a lunar eclipse, but they didn't stay since there were clouds covering and they couldn't see the moon. And blood moon is where we get one every so often, and it's not really, it's not a different color or anything like that. You know, every moon has a title, and this was going to be a lunar eclipse, and I know they have that where sometimes it happens after only so many hundreds of years, and I think that's what it was. But they couldn't see it, so they claimed they all returned to the frat house and went to bed, and that was the last time they saw him. Well, they went into Joseph's room, and all his things were still there, except his sister said his backpack was missing and his phone. Well, they also found a note written that was similar to that strange text message that he sent his sister, and the check was still there that he wrote out to break his lease. That was still there, and it was in an envelope from what they showed on Still a Mystery. But the note said, well, I had to leave, we'll contact you, don't try to contact me, the number won't work. It was basically saying the exact same thing as the text message. Now, it was signed Smedley, which was his last name, and that's what his roommates called him. He didn't sign notes like that. He didn't, Vivian thought that was strange, and she said it was not in his handwriting. He was right-handed, and this looked as if a left-handed person wrote it. And he had no passport to travel overseas, so he wouldn't be able to get overseas if he tried without a passport. So on October 2nd of 2015, around 7 o'clock, a couple of fishermen found a body in Griffey Lake. Now, Griffey Lake is 3 miles north of the university campus, and the body was face up in 3 feet deep water, 10 feet from shore, with a backpack strapped to his chest with 60 pounds of rock inside. And binoculars were around his neck, which I thought was odd. But 60 pounds of rock. There was no rock around that lake where there was no rock. Like, you couldn't just grab a bunch of rocks, put it in a backpack. But it was Joseph. They ruled it as a suicide by drowning, saying he jumped from a bridge because there's a bridge there. And they found out that he had alcohol in his system and THC. Now, THC is something that treats nausea that you get from other meds. I don't know why that was in there, but I mean, maybe he was on something that made him sick. It's a prescription medication. But this is the thing. They said there was no foul play. Let's see if I can turn the page here. Sorry. I'm trying to get my page turned. There was no foul play. But now his family disagrees with the coroner. He was a strong swimmer, and what about the crazy text and note? Look at all the clues here. Not only that, there was hemorrhaging in his back that was not consistent with suicide, and this was a second autopsy. His family was able to get a second autopsy done to find that out, but the problem is, Bloomington, Indiana police refused to cooperate with the family's request for the second autopsy to be completed because the police have to release photos of the crime scene or the death scene, the crime scene. I don't know how to really say that because they say it's not a crime, but it definitely, if I can talk, it definitely looks like it is. So they have to release photos, and that's needed to finalize the pathologist report. So they have to have photos. I'm thinking photos of the first, I don't know if it's of the first autopsy or the crime scene. Maybe it's both. They have photos of, maybe they have to release all their photos to get the pathologist report to be final. And that's what they're holding off on. So his family has raised $10,000 from GoFundMe to hire a lawyer and a private investigator to look into Joseph's death. Also on his Twitter account, just a side note, on Joseph's Twitter account, he posted, if found dead in police custody, it was not suicide. I don't know what that I never found out what that had to do with. As of September 2021, there was a $1,000 reward for any information leading to the reopening of Joseph's case. And you can go on change.org. There's a petition. And any tips should be submitted to Justice for Joseph. It is a Facebook page. And I'm on there. I got on there, and you just click like on it. That's Justice for Joseph, or you call the Bloomington Police Department at 812-339-4477. And I'm going to have all of this in the show notes. There was also a message, there were some messages that Vivian found on a thread from a group that the frat brothers were all in. And there was a thread saying that Joseph was going to be kicked out of the Sigma Pi frat house. Or fraternity. Or frat house. I'm thinking frat house. Or both. I don't know. I don't know how all this works, like I said. I'm pretty sure it's both, if you're living in a frat house. Vivian tried to ask about this, but the fraternity brothers would not talk about it. His cell phone pinged, and there's a map that shows this, and I have a photo of that too. The cell phone pings that he has that day, 4:15 downtown Bloomington, and then about a half hour later at Griffey Lake, and then at 6:30, and I'm thinking this is all in the morning, State Road 57. I'm pretty sure this is all AM. On State Road 57, and they did a second sweep of the area where he was found, and they did find his cell phone. I'm not sure if it was in the lake or if it was like outside on the ground. I don't know, but they did find his cell phone on the second sweep. So I'm thinking it was in the lake, because usually that's what they do when they have to go in the water. But I read this and I'm like, what in the world? I mean, I couldn't get over it that I found this case online. And then when I got on the Facebook page, I found that it was on Still a Mystery. There was a post about it, the show on ID. So that is Justice for Joseph Facebook page, and the change.org. I will have that link in the show notes as well, because get more signatures, maybe they will be able to get this case reopened. And that's what I'm hoping for, because there's something not right with this. I mean, I think the frat, this is my own opinion. I don't like to put my own opinion, what I think, but it's my podcast, so I guess I can do that. But it's an ongoing case. But I really think that the frat brothers know what happened, because it's weird that they were the last ones to see him. And like Vivian said, you can't just pick up rocks along that lake. There's no rocks there. So you would have to like go somewhere and gather, I don't even know, 60 pounds of rock. I don't know. There's just something strange here about it. But that is the story of Joseph Smedley, and I'm really, really wanted to talk about this one. I'm going to, and then I'll have updates. If I found out any updates, I'll post some updates about it in, especially in my Instagram and Facebook page, Kelly's Coffee and Crime Chat. Instagram is Kelly's Coffee Crime Chat is my Instagram. So this will be up early access for Patreon and Spotify Premium, and that is for $5 a month. You get all of my bonus episodes, all of them. And I started this in September. And there's 3 bonus episodes a month. There's 11 bonus episodes on there. Now I'm getting ready to put a 12th one up, because I got to do a 3rd one in this month. So I got to work on that. I'll probably be working on that probably after Christmas. Christmas is in a few days. And I'm hoping that everybody has a Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year, because it's coming, and this will probably be my last one before Christmas. Yep, it will be. So I have to stop and think what day it is. So everybody have a wonderful Christmas, and I hope everybody's safe and has fun, eat, drink, and be merry. I've been watching, my normal Christmas movies. Bad Santa, one of my favorites, Love Actually, Christmas Vacation, Scrooged, and of course A Christmas Carol. The Man That Invented Christmas, we watched that the other night. I really like that movie. That's about Charles Dickens when he wrote A Christmas Carol. Very good movie. If anybody has not heard of it, I actually saw it in the theater. If anybody has not heard of it, it is a good one. It really shows where he got all the ideas for A Christmas Carol. And so that is all. I'm going to make this a short one, so everybody can get back to their Christmas shopping or whatever you're doing. Hopefully all the shopping's done. Mine is, I just about received everything. I did all mine online this year. So besides gift cards. And I did some crafting, so I made some stuff. So everybody have a wonderful holiday season. Grab that nice warm cup of coffee, hot cocoa, hot tea, snuggle up if it's cold out. It's not here. It's pretty nice and breezy, but we're not going to see a white Christmas. Which is, I guess, okay, but then it's going to hit in January, which I'd rather have it now. I'd rather have it now for Christmas than in January, but it happens. So that is all for this week. Again, have a wonderful holiday, and I will see you next time.